Eugene Helms Fitness Inc. Basketball Camp, June 10th, 11th, and 12th. 2 sessions, 9 a.m. to 12 noon, and then 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. On the first day of the camp, which will be Monday, June 10th, we have early registration at 8 a.m. Okay, we're gonna have a great time. Please bring your kids out. If you watched our show before, you know what I'm about to say, but just in case you tuned in for the first time, we have a dynamite show on tap for you this evening. Before I introduce our guest, who has a lot of information to talk about, I think you're gonna find this young man very
After you left, you started the program. That's something that's like a non-profit program as far as how you start, especially for people who are trying to get a non-profit business into. You've been very, very successful in doing that. You wrote your book, so I think that's very, very important for athletes to hear about what are you going to do, because after 29, 30 years old, if you stop playing, you still have your whole time.
Exactly. And that's a great point. I think a lot of athletes don't recognize that. You spend more time being a non-athlete than you do being an athlete. At 30, you're old. 32, they're talking about how long. So you have the rest of your life. You can't retire to skip you, what? 43, 44?
I wish 53. Hey, I appreciate the compliment.
His ability retire now. So I think one of the things that my parents instilled in me was that work ethic. Right. In playing sports, you get that. So we moved to the DC area, actually started a cookie store. We had a cookie business called Cookies by Design over in Fairfax. So I was there for 7 years. And then 9/11 took my business out. So I had to go get like what they call a real job and do whatever. But during that time frame, a lady came to me and started talking to me about business. Coming to talk to her classes about what it takes, the SBA and all that kind of good stuff. And so I went in and I talked to her class, but I found that conversation rather boring. I didn't think that was a good conversation. I think the conversation that needed to be had was, how do you go about getting what you want to go do? So I met somebody who said, well, Mark, you ought to start your own foundation, call the Mark Wiggins Foundation, get donations and go speak for free, because I wanted to help disadvantaged youth, that's what we do, and give back. So I started my own foundation. It wasn't hard to get it started. Funding was an issue, of course, but the MTXE Foundation was born, which launched me into speaking, which now puts me forth as a speaker man. My foundation is still around. We still do some work. Started a couple other programs called Motivate a Kid, which is tied to my book, Permission to Succeed. Make sure you go get that. We'll talk about that in a minute. But when a book is purchased, I give away a book to a teenager. So that's the Motivate a Kid.
Absolutely.
So that's that, because you have to give back as an athlete. If you don't give back, I relate to basketball. I think the connection is that I can bring my athletic experience back to what I do, and I get immediate connection. When you and I walk into a room, it's immediate. Who is this person we're talking to? So it's a platform. So now we use this platform to go in and use sports as the connector. To deliver the message, because that's what they understand. So you just can't come at young people and say, you need to, you need to, you need to.
Exactly.
You come at them and say, well, let's talk about what you're into and how can you be better at what you want to do, where do you want to go.
Exactly.
So that motivation thing, that whole coaching background which we're exposed to, allowed me to go into that. I'm still involved with basketball, I still coach, I still work with young players. We're partnering with you at your camp coming up, I can't wait. Post players are my heart. I think post player is a lost art almost.
And you will have your opportunity to work with them.
Right? And I'm stretching now, I'm trying to get down. I'm not going to be embarrassed. Like you said, I will not be embarrassed. I will put a kid on the floor. I will put him down.
That's right.
Spare warning. That's how basketball has allowed me to, athletics has allowed me to use that platform to come in and make a connection. Doesn't matter the color, doesn't matter the age bracket, financial bracket, they understand sports. If I can make the connection between sports and life, how I like to say, get off the bench and go be successful. And then
first question is, how did you start? What made you decide that this is the time to write a book?
I think one of the things that authors and people who want to be authors need to understand is you have a book inside of you. It's just a matter of organizing it. And there is no correct right time. There is no wake up moment. This is the moment. I think if you have a book inside of you, you need to go in and start the process. Writing it down, putting it down. There are people out there who edit. There are people out there who do grammar. I'm the worst. I type it up, I send it off, and bring it back, I say I like it. But the book is everybody has something to say. And I think if you're one to write, you shouldn't let the end of the process start you from starting the process. And when I wrote my first book, and I'll be honest, completely honest with you, the first book I wrote, my MTXE, Formula for Success, was 54 pages. Spread out like we did in school, double spaced. Everybody was about 10. But it was really just explain my acronym, mental toughness with extreme effort is the formula for success. The reason I did it because as a speaker you need street cred. Street cred comes in the form of products and books. I use it as my calling card. I use it as a marketing tool. I use it even when they couldn't afford my fee. If you buy my books, let me set my table. It allowed me to get into more venues and get more people who maybe couldn't afford the fee. So that's why I wrote, and then it became, well, I need to get my message out more. And as I got older, more experiences, more life experiences, I needed to share that because that's what I talk about. And that's what the writing comes from, is what you know best. For you, it'd be fitness and life. For you, it would be life, basketball, and a whole lot of life, and working out. And that ties together. Exactly. We had that conversation, Skipper, about getting that book started and getting it moving. Exactly. It takes some work, it's a commitment. But as athletes and people, again, the time in athletics, we understand hard work. Every time. I don't think I put work in until two things happen. I get that sweat that runs down my back, and then when I'm finished, I'm tired. Yeah. If you have done your job as a speaker and poured yourself out, you should be exhausted. Yeah. You should be sitting down like, you know what, I just need a moment. I need a moment. And that's when you know you're giving your best as a performer. Permission to Succeed was the brainchild of something that happened to me. You know, you go through a dark period of your life. And as an athlete, and as a business person, as a personal relationship, you know, we look to people to tell us it's okay. Right. Should I start my business? Should I go be the speaker? Should I leave whatever I know and be validation? Validation. Like, think about the person who starts society. Somewhere along the line, he had to tell everybody, I don't care what you think. This is what I need to do to make my establishment work. When we're young, we look for that and we get it. Can I drive a car? Can I go down the street? Right. Can I go work out? People say, yes, 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 yes. But as we get older, that pool of yeses gets smaller. And so now the pool gets smaller, we sometimes sit waiting for someone to say go. We should say to ourselves, go ahead and go. Right. So permission comes out of that. And it's a book that talks about some techniques and some stories that help you give yourself permission. Because really at the end of the day, Skipper, you need to give yourself permission. Absolutely. You need to be responsible for you, and that's where the book comes from. Right into the camera. I'm talking to you right now. I want to get you off the bench. All right, the best way to reach me is my website at markthespeakerman.com. Go to markthespeakerman.com. You can get all my contact information there, and how to reach me, how to contact me to come to speak at your event or your training. Also, you can go to my website for my books. I have 2 books out. Permission to Succeed. The only person who needs to give it is you. Is my project, my main project. And I also have this book called Journey to Success, Mapping Your Journey to Success. It is a program that was co-created with my partner Sharon Myers in Huntsville, Alabama. We went to college together, and we made this great training program that's good for people trying to go to the next level. Whether you're in business, whether you're your own person, this book is a great book as well. And you can go to Books by Mark Wiggins and get these books there as well. For those who are tech suave, here's also what you can get. Take out your cell phone, and I want you to write in the text block, Speakerman. And you want to send that to 90210. What that will do is give you back my digital link, my digital business card, and I'll have your number that I can send you more information about me. So it's Speakerman to 90210, and I'll hit you back and get you involved. Make sure you know, yes, thank you for allowing me into this day. I met this crazy guy right here. He told me over this crazy guy right here. And, you know, we connect right off the break. His fraternity brother, and I'm like, basketball has been, you know, sports is it. Back to the camp. One of the things, like I told you, my passion is for the post play, and understanding the fundamentals of how to play with your back to the basket, concepts of defense, concepts of helping and recovering, and your game. And so what I'm going to do, my portion of the camp is, because Skipper is a shooter, I'm the post guy. Right. I'm going to work with the young fellas and ladies who want to come and learn about post game, because it's important. Even if you're a guard, you need to know how to post. Right. You need to be able to post your player up, make the basket, draw fouls. It's about strategy. We're going to talk about that in the time. And I think young players are going to have a great opportunity to learn from people who are passionate about this subject. Exactly. And give them some fundamentals that I know they're not getting in school. Exactly. I know they're not getting. And that's one of the things that I know in basketball, watching college, and also watching the NBA. One of the things that one announcer said is that they wish they had quality post players. And when you see a person that's able to post a man up and use his footwork and his skills and make a layup or make a jump shot, you know, that skill set is pretty much unheard of in today's basketball. Right. There's so many guards and forwards that's running the gun. So. Right. And people get confused that when I say post, you don't have to be 7 foot, 6'8" to play post. You can be 5'5". If you can post up and go, that's what I'm talking about, post play. Exactly. There's a philosophy, there's a mentality you need to have, and that's what we're going to talk about here.
Exactly. And one of the things, folks, obviously we're running out of time, so we're getting ready to close this segment up. But I want to just give you that information one more time. We thank Mark Wiggins for being our outstanding guest on the Not Just Sports Entertainment Show. And Mark is going to be coming back. Mark's going to come back, sit on some panel discussions, so this won't be the last time that you'll see him. But in closing, Eugene Helms Fitness Inc. Basketball camp, June 10th, 11th, and 12th. 2 sessions, 9 a.m. to 12 noon, and then 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. On the first day of the camp, which will be Monday, June 10th, we have early registration at 8 a.m. Okay, we're gonna have a great time. Please bring your kids out, the ages of 12 to